Haven't been to Portsmouth lately? You're missing out. There are different places to explore, different places to eat, and all kinds of different people. Looking for different stuff to do? Portsmouth is full of local flavor. There's a museum on a boat and one just for kids. You can golf with your feet, sing with the cowboy, do date night in an old school theater, even try your luck at the New Rivers Casino. Tired of the same old? Go different this fall. Visit Portsmouth.
Rivers Casino now has more live table games than ever, with even lower bet minimums. Play blackjack, baccarat, 3-card poker, and all your favorites. It's never been easier to get in on the action. Plus, new $50 3-2 blackjack in the high-limit room. The best blackjack odds in Virginia. And when you join Rush Rewards, you'll get rewarded every time you play. It's time to get real at Coastal Virginia's premier gaming, dining, and entertainment destination. Visit Rivers Casino today.
And welcome to the 70th annual Portsmouth Invitational here at Churchland High School in Portsmouth, Virginia. I am James Blackburn, back with you today and joined in the booth today by Tanner Massey. Tanner, it's good to have you back at the PIT, baby.
Yes, it's great to be back, James. It's been a couple years, but this is exciting. Great crop of talent this season, and just excited to watch these guys get after it after they played yesterday.
Absolutely. Both of these teams that you're going to see, Portsmouth Sports Club in the white and Norfolk Sports Club in the red, both played yesterday. They both lost their game, so this is their second game in less than 24 hours. Tanner, right away, who's a player you're looking forward to watching on both teams?
Well, Portsmouth Sports Club, I think we have to start with Joel Soriano. Last night he had 28 points. He was 11 of 16 from the field. Hit a three-pointer, has a really good touch, and obviously dominated the glass and had 5 offensive rebounds. The Big East second-team player last season, he's really making his mark. And then with Norfolk Sports Club, really looking to see if I really like Quincy Olivari from Xavier. He had a great season, very efficient, and he rebounds the ball well. Seeing if he can bounce back from yesterday.
Yeah, and I called the game yesterday with Soriano, and me and Matt Jones did, and he was just an absolute beast inside. They were double-teaming, triple-teaming him. They couldn't contain him, but I'm looking forward to see how big Will Baker for Norfolk Sports Club, who's another big-body guy, 7 feet tall, 250 pounds. He was a transfer from the Mountain West, went to LSU this year, and he's a guy that's really skilled, could shoot the three a little bit. He's a lefty, and the way they let him play, as you know, at Portsmouth, they let him get after it, they let him get physical. So to watch those two big-body guys battle is going to be fun. And right now, Tanner, we've got the looks like the starting lineups being announced for both teams. Again, this is game 1 of the day. This is our 3:15 game here on Prep Spin for all you guys that are watching around the world. And we've got a 7 o'clock game tonight and a 9 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be on the same schedule, a 3:15, a 7 and 9. And then again on Saturday, we have 4 games. So Tanner, you'll be back on the call again. When will you be on the call? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow evening at the first night game, 7 o'clock.
Okay, so everybody listening, make sure you mark your calendars, especially to make sure you listen to Tanner Massey. And Tanner, you've got a wealth of experience both domestically here in the G League, but then also internationally. So you're going to be able to give some really good perspective as most of these players that we're watching, you know, of course their goal is to make the NBA. A lot of them will end up being G League players, but a host of them will also go internationally and play in a variety of leagues, whether that's Asia, where you've been, or in Europe.
Yes, Europe is intriguing to me, and as much as I watch European basketball, if you watch EuroLeague or Euro Cup, you will see a lot of former Portsmouth Invitational players. For example, Thomas Walkup, who in college was a point forward of sorts, but he is the starting point guard of Olympiacos. You also have Maldo Lowe, who played at Columbia and was a great player here in Portsmouth. And he's playing very well, I believe, in Alba Berlin. And so that's just 2 of the guys who have really benefited from playing in Portsmouth.
Yeah, of course there's a lot of scouts here to watch. Of course, you've got the 30 NBA teams with representatives, but not just the NBA teams are here. I mean, you have coaches and teams from Italy, from all over Asia to France. So when these guys are on the floor, we'll be talking about this more on the broadcast, I'm sure, but they're always being watched. No matter what the score is, they're always being watched, and the way these games are, it's very different to what they're accustomed to. There's not fans really cheering or booing. It's really just a lot of silence and them playing. So it's pretty interesting aspect of the game.
Well, you mentioned the silence. One way to immediately stand out is with your voice and your talk. And if you can show that you can communicate in a game like this, that really sets you apart early on.
Absolutely. So we are all set here for the jump ball, and we're going to have Soriano, number 25, who we talked about. He's going to be jumping against Isaac Jones from Washington State, and right away I can see Soriano is going to have the girth battle probably won, but I was watching Jones in the warm-ups, and he is a guy that likes to get up above the rim, so this is going to be interesting to watch this. Oh, and right away, Soriano serves up the facial and a little SLD action there, Tanner.
Yes, speaking of above the rim, that was an excellent drop-off, no backside, but, man, great look, great start.
And, what's funny is yesterday Portsmouth Sports Club actually started the game up 10-1 in the first few minutes. And then after that, Johnny King actually went and ended up winning. They were up by close to 20 in the second half. So let's see if Portsmouth Sports Club can sustain it over 40 minutes today. And back-to-back dunks for got both teams, and that's who we just talked about. Isaac Jones from Washington State. His elevator went all the way above the rim on that dunk.
Yes, and he was able to roll behind Joel Soriano in the ball screen. Excellent look there by Aaron Estrada from three, the three-point specialist from Alabama.
Floaters off the mark that time by Tyson Walker from Michigan State. One of two Michigan State players here at the event. Of course, his teammate, A.J. Hoggard, was playing yesterday for Michigan State. So the backcourt teammates here. And both teams now, Tanner, they're a lot less hesitant. Yesterday they were kind of trying to feel it out. Now these two teams are accustomed to playing. And, right off the bat, they're starting off hot.
And we want to see a little more defensive aggressiveness early on. We've had two easy dunks at the rim and then some open looks such as this. If we can see a little more defensive pressure and urgency, again, we're trying to find ways to set yourself apart from the competition. Defense is the best way to do it.
And that was Kyle Rode from Liberty for the three there, number 14 in red. That's what he does. That's really his main thing. And there he is on a steal. Kyle Rode goes in for the layup, and they're going to call that a goaltending. So Rode gets to back-to-back buckets, early 5 points for Kyle Rode. Really high IQ shooter, 6'7", I should say, out of Liberty. And this is back-to-back years now that Liberty has had a player at the event. Okay. Of course, Darius McGee last year, or I believe that was maybe 2 years ago. I'm trying to remember now, the point guard.
Not sure exactly on that, James, but Rode has done a really good job so far.
That time he gets the foul. Tyler Wall from Wisconsin gets himself to the line. And Tyler Wall and Tyler Burton, two forwards for Portsmouth Sports Club. Tyler Burton out of Villanova. Both of those guys versatile forwards that could go inside, outside, skilled, and both pretty scrappy on the glass as well.
Tyler Burton, he's a guy that had a great game yesterday. He had 13 points, 6 of 9 from the field, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, 3 turnovers. And he's a multi-dimensional do-it-all, and he played at Richmond for 4 years before going to Villanova. He knows how to play. And even though Tyler Burton turned it over a few possessions ago, leading to that dunk on the other end, he hustled back to try to get a block, but he ended up goaltending. So he just knows how to play and does the little things.
There's another three for Aaron Estrada out of Alabama. And At Alabama, he was accustomed to shooting a lot of threes, and he's done that so far, 2 for 2. There's Kyle Rode, looks to answer, and he does. Kyle Rode looks really comfortable today. Yesterday he didn't look as comfortable. Today he looks really good out of the gate.
Well, we barely played 2.5 minutes, James, and we've had 19 total points. We have to do a little bit better on the defensive side overall.
And there's your man, Tyler Burton. Another bucket, like you were just talking about, needed more defense. That time he tries to draw the foul. They didn't really want to give it to him, but they did, and then he gets the bucket anyway. So Tyler Burton, of course, a really versatile player, can fill up the stat sheet, like you mentioned, in a lot of different ways. And I look for him to have a big game today again.
Showing some savviness. That's kind of what he does.
KJ Jones with the steal, Division II National Player of the Year, kicks it back out to that's Strada, looks for his third made three off the mark, and here comes Norfolk out and running. There's Kyle Roden for a three off the mark, and we've got the pace picking up here.
Yes, both teams are trying to really work hard. We've seen a lot of ball screens early, but trying to capitalize on these misses and turnovers in transition.
It's a tough shot that time by Burton. Good contest on the perimeter, and you like to see him maybe go one more extra on that possession.
That's not really Tyler's game overall. And last year at Villanova, he averaged 7.5 points, but when he was at Richmond, he averaged 19. So he can fill it up.
And, of course, Richmond being in the A-10, that's a really underrated league, so he can play. As we say, hand down, man down. That's what Mr. Ray J. Dennis said out of Baylor. It's a nice three there for Ray J. Dennis.
And love the extra pass by Kyle Rowe to get him that three. Ray J. Dennis, another guy who's trying to have a bounce back from yesterday, only having 7 points, 2 of 9 from the field, but did have 7 assists. So if he can really show that he can shoot the three ball a little bit better, that would help. But only 33% this past season.
There's your guy, Tyler Burton. Nice corner pocket three ball. Estrada with the assist, and that's one thing, talking to some scouts yesterday, Tanner, about Estrada, is they said, we really like to see how he could create out of that, being more of a point guard facilitator. They know he could score the ball. So let's see that if he could do that today. Soriano sets the screen. Roden played it perfectly with his inside hand, gets his second steal of the day, gets back to that right hand. Early on, Kyle Rode already has more points than he did all game yesterday. We're not even halfway through the first quarter.
Kyle Rode, I think he has, wow.
Oh, wow.
And Tyler Burton, that's, I believe, 3 turnovers. Of course, back-to-back right here, 3 turnovers off of with the basketball, obviously. But going back to Kyle Rode, so before that last bucket, he had 10 of his team's 15 points, and he also had an assist for a 3.
And 2 steals.
Yeah, and 2 steals. So far, his efficiency and his usage is much better than it was yesterday, and he needed that.
No, we actually talked about him, Tanner, you and I did, on the phone this morning, and how when he was at Liberty this year, he was really a guy that was a shooter. Like, that was his role. That's what he did. And I think yesterday when he came in, he was just trying to find what he could do. He's always been a really efficient guy. But today he's showing off a little bit. Like you said, he had that nice kick out for an assist. So he's showing some more versatility, which is what the scouts need to see. Mm-hmm. I'd like for him to have a really good career in Europe. We're hearing some talking out there, Tanner, as you talked about. That's Drew Pember on the catch, and looks like he may have gotten away, but they're going to keep the ball. And we're going to take an early timeout, Tanner, but we're going to keep it here. We're going to continue to talk as we're early on in this one, and we are 18-13. Tanner, I know it's early, but what are some of the things you've seen so far in this game?
Well, I think we'll go back initially to early on, the team's trying to fill each other out, but nobody really impacting the game defensively, high scoring early. But here recently, Kyle Rode comes to mind immediately as a guy who has made an impact on the defensive end. Obviously, it's hard in a setting like this to be really disciplined and locked in, when it comes to ball screen coverages. So we'd love to see just more aggressiveness in that area. But with that, teams are capitalizing in transition and off turnovers, and that's where these guys are able to really shine and show their skills.
One interesting note, Tanner, is I wonder if, since Portsmouth Sports Club played first, if they stayed and watched Norfolk the second game, I wonder if some guys could, none of these guys really know each other that well unless they played them during the season. And I'm sure the coaches, they're not necessarily going over scouting reports. So it's like, okay, who's labeled as a shooter? Who's going to be a driver? Who's maybe a guy that can't go left, what have you. And, as guys could start picking up tendencies from each other. And that's a shot clock violation by Portsmouth. They had unofficially, Tanner, about 4 of those yesterday. So that's been a struggle for them already this tournament.
Well, a couple adjustments, obviously, is the shot clock that these guys have to get used to, and also the corner threes. And you'd expect that's something that they work on to prepare for. But, time management is a big key for these guys. That's a little thing that stands out to scouts as they're evaluating the mental makeup of these guys. Are they able to process what the game calls for? Not just right pick and roll read, not just the right closeout angle to take, but can they manage the time and the score of a game?
And that time, Tanner, we saw an NBA 3-second defensive call. Matt and I touched on this yesterday about how here at Portsmouth they actually play with rules from the NBA, NCAA, and FIBA. And then we also have a few special Portsmouth rules too, like foul counts and other things. So very interesting. It makes it fun. It makes it one of the best events that we go to is all the different type of rules that these guys play with.
Definitely.
There's Kyle Rode on the rebound after the miss by Soriano. Soriano's been kind of quiet this game after that initial big thunder dunk. I'd like to see them get back involved. And there's going to be a foul after he forced. That's Will Baker, who I touched on before the game. He is a lefty, so he's going to look to get back to that lefty hook. That's his shot. And it's going to be interesting to see those two battle now with Will coming off the bench.
It's hard for a lot of these guys. They want to make an impact in the game and try to go for steals or go for blocks or shoot, potentially tough, highly contested shots because they want to show what they can do. And, sometimes just playing solid defense and not going for that block is the more sound play.
As Will Baker makes 2 of 2 to give Norfolk an early 24-13 lead. So after Portsmouth struck first with the big dunk, they've seen themselves behind. And I think a lot of that's credit to Norfolk Sports Club defense. It's really turned up a notch.
I would agree with that, James.
Comes Kyle Rode on the semi-fast break. Will Baker decides to keep it after turning down 2 handoffs. Gets to that left hand again. And see, that's something we talked about scouting reports. Okay, you got to know if you're Soriano. Will's a lefty. He likes to get to that right shoulder finish. You got to push him to that other side.
Yeah, and those are the types of players that Soriano will go up against, at the next level, wherever that is. He has to be able to defend without fouling inside.
Couple of guys here looking for some whistles. You're not getting those whistles out here. There's Kyle Rode with a deep 3. That was just off the mark. Another turnover that time by KJ Jones. And here comes Will Baker, something you don't see him do a lot, lead the break. We'll see if Red can get into some offense here. So they look a little disjointed.
This is a good look right here for Eric Dixon from Villanova. That's his specialty right there, man.
We call that mouse in the house where I come from, Tanner.
Yes. He that is a common look for him. I live currently in Delaware, and there was a lot of Villanova games on television this year, and that Eric Dixon catching it on the elbows, working that mid-post area, and then playing out of the post. That's something he's really good at. And, I mean, for his career, he's done very well. Big East second teamer the last 2 seasons. But also a guy looking to bounce back. He wasn't that efficient yesterday, but maybe he'll play more inside today.
Yeah, both of these teams, Tanner, are, obviously you always want to win, but also they're trying to avoid that 11 o'clock game on Saturday.
That's the worst game of Portsmouth right there.
Yes.
So we all know that one.
Absolutely. So we're going to see, again, tonight at 7 p.m., we're going to see 4 new teams. So you're going to have Mike Duman Auto Sales, I believe, is – No, I'm sorry. You were going to see Portsmouth Partnership tonight, Sales Systems, of course, the ever-famous Roger Brown's Restaurant, and then K&D Rounds. So it could be some really, really high-quality games on tonight.
Yes. No, it's always fun to see these guys matched up, in this tournament, especially in the first game, see who stands out initially.
And here's Shahada Wells with the ball out of McNeese State. He had his head coach here yesterday, Will Wade, in the building watching him. So Shahada is another guy I'd like to see have a good bounce-back game today, Tanner.
Yeah, Shahada Wells, he's super explosive. One of the guys I was really looking forward to seeing. He's very good at attacking in straight lines, getting downhill. He's a facilitator, and I think 2 things that stand out. Not only was he the Southland Player of the Year, but he was also the Defensive Player of the Year in that league. And he also had a 28% assist rate, which is very, very good at that level. And just kind of seeing a mix of him athletically and how he facilitates.
Man, you want to make those free throws right there. Portsmouth's just really hunting for points, but they got to get some stops first. They get one there, and here comes Wells on the break. He's surveying and waiting for his teammates. That one just kind of caught Soriano off guard.
And that wasn't great spacing in general. There wasn't really anywhere for him to go, and then he forces a tough pass.
Will Baker off the mark, and here comes Tyler Burton. Looked for the whistle, no whistle. Referee said he was straight up and down. Kyle Rode for 3, and these guys now, legs are starting to be a factor. Even though it's the first quarter, they haven't had a break in a while. That NBA three-point line is, of course, a newer line for them. That's a big difference. You guys can see on the screen, of course, the black line being the high school, then the white being the NBA, and that's quite a bit of distance between those two.
Doubt. And we're talking about the rosters of both teams. Right now, Norfolk Sports Club, they have 8 guys, which is traditionally how many players are on each team at the Portsmouth Invitational. But Portsmouth, they only have 7. So they're down a body. This is a 40-minute game. It's high intensity. So it's just a little bit more demand on Portsmouth, and it's showing right now. They're down 14.
And Tanner, I just realized that Jermaine Cousinard from Oregon is not here, but he did play yesterday. So that is an interesting note, because I do not remember him getting hurt yesterday in the game. And he's really needed, because he's a 6'5", versatile, athletic guard, wing, if you will. So yeah, I just noticed that when you said that.
No, and who knows what happened there with him, but they could really use another body to spell some guys, and just shows if they can perform with only 7 guys, then they'll stand out. We're finally getting some stops, though, from Portsmouth. They just need to capitalize in transition, have great spacing, get to the next action, and be ready to attack.
There's a big 3 there by Tyler Burton. He's really carried him in this first quarter, Tanner.
He has, but he's also turned it over a few times and taken some tough shots. At least that one was in rhythm, and maybe that'll calm him down a little bit.
Isaac Jones goes to work. Burton with the rebound, and they'll push it. Nice pump fake there by Shahada Wells, but can't finish.
They probably could look to drop that off on that spin move.
You know what's interesting? So many of these guys are over-penetrating. They're all looking for whistles, and you're not going to get those whistles out here. So guys need to figure out other ways. Maybe it's a kick out or a pull-up. They've got to figure out other ways to get the basket.
The all Big East matchup right there inside. St. John's versus Villanova. Joel Soriano, he wins that battle to the foul line.
He wins that battle a lot. That's about all Dixon could do that time was foul him once Soriano gets that deep.
Joel Soriano.
It's always fun watching the matchups between teammates and such as Eric Dixon, number 20 from Norfolk Sports Club, his teammate Tyler Burton on the other at Villanova, who's playing on Portsmouth Sports Club across the lane from him right now. So it's always just kind of cool to compete against your brothers.
Yeah, I would venture to say that they probably were not on a lot of separate teams during practice. They were probably both on the starting unit. So
spot on.
See if they could get a shot off and clock awareness. So we're going to go into the second quarter, 28-19, with Norfolk Sports Club on top. We'll be right back. Tanner, we're back here at the 70th annual, Tanner. 70th annual. And I know this is year 12 for me at Portsmouth. This is probably at least your 10th or 11th year, I would think. We're rookies, man. Unless we get to 50, we're not even close to being mentioned.
No, and there are some scouts here who have been to about 70 of these themselves.
I believe it.
But, man, those are guys I would love to sit down with and talk to about everything basketball if I could.
Absolutely. No, that's one of the best things about this event, though, that makes it so good is it seems like every year that we come, it never changes, right? They might get new bleachers. The floor might be a little shinier, but it's still the same old Portsmouth Invitational, man. That's what makes it good.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of this tournament. It's so intimate, I should say. You see the same faces. Fans can come in as well and sit next to an NBA GM. You never know. But this is a great setup, and super happy to be here with you calling this game as well. And, hey, love seeing some talking pick-and-roll defense right there by Soriano.
Yeah, both of these teams right now are just really having a hard time finishing. That time, right when we were talking, Portsmouth Sports Club missed about 4 or 5 chippies at the rim. And there's a turnover, another one from Burton, as you said, and it leads to a little Globetrotters extra pass for Isaac Jones. We talked about, I told you in warm-ups, he was really getting up, and that's already a second dunk of this first half.
Yeah, and the Xavier product, Quincy, he was the one who threw the lob up. And just having the feel to understand, do I give it up to the big or do I try to force a tough layup? Smart decision.
And they've got numbers right here. That's not really the shot you look for when you have a 5-on-4. Soriano was trailing the play. And then Red has a miscommunication.
That basket by Alabama.
Aaron Estrada might get his easiest point of the tournament. Both teams right now looking a little tired, Tanner.
Well, yeah,
they just played, last night.
Totally understandable, and they're the first game today. Again, the energy it takes to perform well at this tournament is a lot. But love seeing the execution right there. Great pass to Kyle Rode for that tough floater.
No, that was good. That was a little stagger on the weak side, and Rode decided – I don't know if that was drawn up that way or if Rode just decided to throw in his own little wrinkle. But he came back, came off the curl, and showed a nice touch inside the paint. As we're getting a little up and down here. Wells with the nice kick out. There's the extra pass to Burton, and that's Burton's spot. He's already hit one from there, but that one just off the back of the rim.
Love the poise there by Wells in transition with the ball to allow his teammates to get the spots, and then he kicks to the corner, immediate swing to the wing. It's a great look. You won't get a better shot than that. Now we're talking in some pick and roll, sending it down.
Rode not shy with that corner three. Here comes Wells, sizes his opponent up, gets 2 steps, probably got away with a hit on the arm there. We saw it from our angle, but they let him play. And instead of the layup, they take a 3. Again, another offensive rebound. Burton lines one up off the back of the rim, and you can't ask for better looks than that.
These guys I agree with you, James. They just look a little tired, and we got to have a little grace with them, understanding of their team's situation right now.
By Washington State's Isaac
Great dump-off pass there. Jones is a recipient of another easy one. And Jones has had a nice little game here, finishing in the paint. That's an early shot, especially with tired legs right there from Estrada, and it leads to a fast break opportunity. That is Quincy Lear.
Foul is charged to Portsmouth Sports Club's number 4.
Let's go with Quincy O.
I was looking at the wrong team. Sometimes these rosters that we have get a little confusing, especially lots of sports clubs out there this year.
Hey, we all need to get in shape. We all got to raise our fitness levels.
Yeah, so if you're in the area, definitely check out Portsmouth Sports Club or Norfolk Sports Club, depending on what city you're in.
Yes, and sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have any special rates or promo codes for you to use, but I'm sure they're lovely facilities.
For Portsmouth Sports Club, number 11,
now,
KJ Jones.
Again, having grace right now with Portsmouth Sports Club, is understandable. But right now at this tournament, there's not a lot of time for excuses as well. I mean, you're here to perform. Jobs and opportunities are on the line. So as long as you're playing hard, that's one thing. But being able to play through fatigue, what is your work capacity? How well do you play through that fatigue? And again, all these things are being evaluated.
Absolutely. Are you in shape? That's a big thing. Nice baseline out of bounds play that time by Norfolk. And they don't get anything out of it. It was defended well by Portsmouth.
I don't know. I thought Dixon was wide open at the rim.
Yeah, they missed him. You're right. There's Drew Pember with the rebound. Big South Player of the Year out of UNC Asheville. This is him right now. Gets to DHO. That's a nice take there, but Tyler Wall from Wisconsin. He needs to be more assertive this game, I think, Tanner, especially with only 7 guys. They're going to really be counting on him for baskets.
Yeah, don't hesitate to make a play, and that's great defense off of a closeout as well.
Forces a tough shot, but a big offensive rebound that time by Eric Dixon for Villanova. And both teams getting on the glass, on the offensive glass here in this game.
Love the hustle. And right there, KJ Jones, Division II National Player of the Year the last 2 seasons, chasing that ball down. Again, he's a guy who struggled yesterday, but with only 7 players, this is a great opportunity for him to show what he can do.
Kyle Rode that time did a great job. He knew he had the mismatch on the perimeter, Drew Pember is a guy that's much more of a 4-5, and he asked for the ball back, gave a nice little pump fake, and was able to attack the rim, and that's something that he needs to show this week, and what his off-the-dribble game is, and if he could go in straight-line drives and make plays.
Tell you what, Kyle Rode has come out very
You jinxed him on a free throw.
And, yeah, as he missed the free throw. What is that? The commentator jinx?
The commentator jinx, yeah. When you rave about him.
Not sure, yeah. But he's really been impressive so far this game. He hasn't hesitated, and really have enjoyed watching his defensive effort as well.
No, and he's been aggressive, like you said, and a lot of that comes from confidence. I mean, Tanner, confidence is such a big key, and when you come out here and you make your first couple of shots, that could really be a game changer for the entire event, honestly.
No doubt.
We're going to get a timeout here, media timeout, so we're going to take a break with them, and we'll be right back on the other side.
Second team foul.
And we're back with you after that timeout here. It looks like they're taking timeouts, Tanner, midway through each quarter. I don't know if that would be considered a media timeout. We were noting last night, Matt and I, about how this year it seemed like they were taking more timeouts than in other years. But this game so far has had great flow, though. Great flow.
I believe that would be considered a media timeout because it's within 30 seconds of the media timeout occurring. So I think that would have been a media timeout. And, again, we're talking about opportunities. Aaron Estrada being aggressive. That's the only way he knows how to play. I mean, Conference Player of the Year last season, not this past season, but season before in the CAA. And then, obviously, he knows how to play aggressively on offense from his time at Alabama. So he's taking advantage of it.
Yeah, that was a really nice feet work shown there by Estrada.
It's one of your favorite words right there, James, feet work.
The feet work.
Yes.
This time he probing and gets it back to Burton, who looked at it at first, and then he second-guessed it, and then he went back to it. And he's shot multiple shots, Tanner, already from that left wing area.
Yeah, he's had moments, good and bad so far in this first half.
That is a tough shot that time by Eric Dixon.
Yeah, Dixon settling right there. He probably should have got off the ball and then just resealed versus Burton to get deeper position.
A lot of banging going on the post. Same shot that time for Burton, and both guys airball just on opposite sides of the rim.
The Villanova products right there. But not indicative of the player development, but at Villanova, they are two exceptional players within that program.
Number 25, Joel Soriano.
As Joel Soriano checks back in, and really like to see Joel Soriano get into this game a little bit more, as he had 28 points, I believe, yesterday.
28 yesterday.
28 yesterday, and so far I think he's only gotten about 2 or 4 in today's game. So here he is. Let's see if he can establish himself on the block as Estrada feeds it to him. Gets it back to Estrada. Little two-man game. And here he is. Here's Soriano. That's what he does. Nice touch over the shoulder, fadeaway shot over Will Baker. And we just talked about him. We want to see that.
And that's great poise, man. Great poise by Soriano, just being patient with the dribble handoff and then taking it into the post. He could have attacked off the catch, off his roll, but He decides to go into the post, which became a deep post up, and then a great in rhythm shot. That's excellent.
Norfolk Sports Club that time with another quick shot. Like to see them get a little bit more ball movement as Portsmouth is trying to get back in this game. There's Soriano cleaning up the mess. And there's going to prompt a timeout by the coach of Norfolk Sports Club as Portsmouth is on a big run here. Got this thing back to 2-possession game.
Well, they on the roster sheet, they don't have the coaches listed, but I believe that is A.J. Guyton with Norfolk Sports Club and the former Indiana Hoosier, Chicago Bull, if that is A.J. Guyton. But back to the game momentarily. Right now, Portsmouth Sports Club, they're getting in rhythm shots now. And early on in the first quarter, Norfolk, they generated a lot of turnovers and to get easy baskets in transition, and now they're not getting those. The game is settled down. And if you're Norfolk Sports Club, we need to pick up our energy a little bit more on defense. And then on offense, have some poise, take some better shots because Portsmouth Sports Club, they are now getting stops.
No, and you said it, Tanner. You like to see both of these teams maybe run a little bit better offense. I know yesterday Portsmouth Sports Club really struggled with some spacing issues. But these last couple of possessions, they've done a better job of getting into some two-man games, and they've gotten themselves back in this one. So let's see if Norfolk can get a little nice play after the timeout, little ATO. Little stagger screen opens up. There's the kick out to Baker. Baker had a size advantage, but Burton picked his pocket.
Very good transition, and again, the poise, allowing the game to kind of play itself out in transition. Portsmouth Sports Club, they've done a good job of that.
Great job of using the hostage dribble that time. That was Ray J. Dennis out of Baylor, called his name out a few times today, and that was great patience and finished with a nice little lefty scoop.
Yep, shown the ability to make the three ball so far today and then getting to the rim. Shown some physicality too with off the bounce. So pretty impressive start for him, which is really good for the Baylor product.
We're going to have another timeout here, Tanner. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. And as we come out from yet another timeout, Tanner, I'm fired up over here, man, in the booth. You know, I am ready to let some people know. 3 timeouts in 3 minutes. What is this? Is this, you know, we don't have reviews out here, Tanner. This is the Portsmouth Invitational.
Hey, you know, I can't speak on that. I don't want to criticize how these games are being coached. If the coach wants to call a timeout, James, he should be allowed to call the timeout if he has one. So allow the coach to do his thing.
I just want to know how many timeouts we got, Tanner. I mean, that's all I want to know.
Well, you should know. This is your second day here. And this is your 12th PIT? You should know.
I should know. Burton that time should have kept the ball. That's another turnover for him, and it leads to a wide open layup for Kyle Rowe. Every one of Portsmouth Sports Club's turnovers, Tanner, as well seem to be live ball turnovers, and they all seem to lead to breaks for Norfolk.
Yes, I feel pretty confident that defensive transition is one thing that coaches in this type of setting don't look at hard enough leading into their games. Whenever they have a practice, they don't touch on that. All it is just get back. But what does that look like? What is the floor balance in D-trans? They love running the stagger away for road, and then they just play out of that.
Yeah, no, they've done that multiple times, and they've gotten a little wrinkle out of it every time, so it's nice.
1 minute remaining in the half.
Will Baker for a three. He has not been shy in this game about putting him up there.
No, I think that's his second, maybe third three-point attempt. Portsmouth Sports Club doing a good job of gang rebounding, but sometimes guys don't communicate who has it, and it goes out of bounds. Tell you, they're missing the interior pass on these baseline out of bounds plays too.
Yeah, that's the second time they've done that. Little bully ball going on inside.
A little physicality by Ray J. Dennis, as we talked about, but very difficult lefty scoop.
Shahada Wells with the turnover, and it leads to a tough finish by Ray J. Dennis. That was great body control there. Switched hands in the air and went back to the left. Little same foot, Tanner Massey specialty there by Estrada, but he misses, gets the miss. And
that's one that Aaron Estrada, makes.
He makes that a lot.
We're talking about a guy who knows how to score and knows how to play. But I'll tell you what, to finish this half, Portsmouth Sports Club, they are not doing themselves any favors. They cut this lead down to 2 possessions, but they have not been able to finish this half off right. There's Soriano getting one more rebound right before the half. This guy probably has 10 rebounds already.
And we are going to go into the halftime break. 44-34, Norfolk Sports Club still in the lead. We'll be back on the other side.
Ready for some PI?
Haven't been to Portsmouth lately? You're missing out. There are different places to explore, different places to eat, and all kinds of different people. Looking for different stuff to do? Portsmouth is full of local flavor. There's a museum on a boat and one just for kids. You can golf with your feet, sing with the cowboy, do date night in an old school theater, even try your luck at the New Rivers Casino. Tired of the same old? Go different this fall. Visit Portsmouth.
And welcome back here to the Prep Spin broadcast here at the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament here at the beautiful Churchland High School, home of the Truckers, Tanner. And we are here for the second half of Game 1 of today between Portsmouth Sports Club in the white, who finds themselves now with a 10-point lead starting the half against the Norfolk Sports Club in the red. The battle of the weight rooms.
Well, right now, the weight room belongs to Norfolk, and it is going to continue to be that way to start this half. I love the ATO. And, hey, first play of the game was for Isaac Jones. He got that lob, all right? And now he gets this next play at the rim. Pretty good setup for the big fella.
No, definitely. And there's Drew Pember, the Big South Player of the Year out of UNC Asheville. That's what he does. He shoots threes, and that time he gets the top of the key trailing three to go down. But there's a turnover, and Portsmouth looks to run. There's KJ Jones for three, and back-to-back threes now for Portsmouth Sports Club. Cuts right into that deficit, now back to 2 possessions.
Now that'll give KJ Jones hopefully a chance to settle into the game, getting that in-rhythm open three, and now his teammates will be a little more confident in him as well.
Foul is charged to Portsmouth Sports Club's number 25, Joel Soriano. His second foul.
And here's Isaac Jones from Washington State. Tanner, they list him as 6'8", but with those long arms, he looks like he's closer to 6'9", 6'10", and he's going up against Soriano, who's listed as 6'11", and Jones looks every bit as tall as Soriano.
Well, Soriano, yeah, he's listed at 6'11", but then you have Will Baker listed at 7 foot, and Will Baker looks much taller than Soriano. So, and they also have Soriano as 6'11", 200 pounds.
Well, I've got 250 on mine.
250. Well, on the website I had earlier, it said 200. So a few discrepancies all over the place.
If he's 200, then I'm 6'10".
Doctor. Well, they could use a little bit more of Soriano this half. But, hey, now Portsmouth, they're in the flow of their offense. They've scored the last 3 possessions.
Now they need stops. As Estrada's going to ice the screen here. And they force Ray J. Dennis downhill. He gets the nice kick out to the corner, and then the extra pass back to Ray J., and he gets the recipient.
Yeah,
that was good action.
Ray J with his third 3 of the game. He had 2 great looks in the first half, and now has that in-rhythm 3. For his career, or this past season at Baylor, he shot 33% from 3, but this is a really good thing. If he can show some consistency with the 3 ball, that will really help him in front of scouts.
Yeah, Ray J's had a nice game today, not trying to do too much, letting the game come to him. This time they send the double against Soriano. He finds Pember on the cutter. Pember lays it off to Burton. Burton able to use the pump fake to draw the foul.
Yeah, it's good to see Pember, being a playmaker. A few possessions ago, he hit that 3-pointer from the top of the key, and the guy who needed to settle into the game. He didn't do much in that first half. So early on, Portsmouth, they need guys to produce, and they need everybody to be able to pitch in to win this game.
Yeah, Drew Pember's a guy that yesterday he knocked down a couple of 3 balls, and he's another player of the year. I mean, he won 2 player of the years back-to-back in the Big South and really carried UNC Asheville. Some people thought he was going to come out last year. He decided to come back, and it's worked out well for him as he was able to garner an invite from Portsmouth. Now he sees himself on the switch. Let's see if they can get it back to Estrada. Instead, they go into the post where they have another mismatch. Mismatches all over the court right now for Norfolk, and they cash in for the wide-open 3.
Ray J. Dennis is 4-3. They got to locate him now. He was may have been a non-shooter to start the game, but he's a shooter now.
Estrada gets caught, but kicks it out to Pember. Back to Estrada.
James loved the backdoor pass right there from Pember. That's something he did a lot of at UNC Asheville, playing at the top of the key through delay action. But he's shown some nimbleness and some ability to play with the ball.
It's Tyson Walker on the miss, but they're able to get it back. And Eric Dixon showing some space or some the ability to stretch the floor there with the three, usually doing his work inside.
Yeah, 35% this past season at Villanova for Dixon, so he can certainly knock it down. I'd love to see Tyson Walker be a little more aggressive from Michigan State. I feel like he's allowing which is fine, he's allowing his teammates to make some plays, but would love to see some aggressiveness. I mean, at Michigan State this past season, he averaged 18.
Yeah, and right when you were talking, Ray J. Dennis hit his fifth three, I'm sorry. That time Walker sprays it out. Uh-oh, got a little showtime that time of Mr. Dixon. Throws down the lefty dunk, and that's going to get a timeout as they've stretched this lead out, Norfolk, to 13 points with 5:55 here in the third quarter.
Yeah, Portsmouth, they're playing, it's like the roller coaster of the game. They will cut it to a two-possession game, and then they allow easy looks, easy buckets by Norfolk. And now they're trying to make that push again. It's very difficult to play that way. They have to be able to sustain it. But it starts on the defensive end.
No, it absolutely does. And like you said, it's too many easy baskets they're allowing. I mean, you got to, in an event like this, you can't let teams get out on the break. They've had, like we talked about in the first half, many of their turnovers have been live ball turnovers. And just way too many dunks and wide open layups and a lot of mismatches all over the court for being mismatched. So let's see, like you said, they have to get stops. I mean, they're doing a decent job scoring the basketball, but 61 points with still almost a quarter and a half to play is too many points.
Right. It's almost like a G League score. But they've only played 25 minutes. But, yeah, these guys, these players, they're playing very hard. It's the toughest thing about Portsmouth is the lack of any practice time to understand how you fit with your teammates and getting on the same page. It's a little easier, I think, on offense to do that. On defense, it can be tough, though.
Yeah, and you see a lot of the teams, they run the same actions. You're going to see some horns actions. We've seen the stagger on the weak side a lot today. But
spacing is the same. Spacing is the same. Everybody's in the corners or on the wings. And with great spacing, you get great in-rhythm shots right there. Aaron Estrada knocking it down again.
And here's that stagger away for Kyle Rode, like we've said multiple times. There's a little bit of spacing issue that time.
Oh, and James, I love that reverse pivot there by Eric Dixon, basically sealing the switch on his back and then attacking the basket. That's a great tool to use.
Nice job that time by KJ Jones. Knew he wasn't going to be able to do anything with it, just kind of give a little touch pass to the corner, and you see some legs that are starting to become a factor now. And Tanner, I already went on a rant about this in the first half, but again, we got a timeout at 4:50. We got another timeout at 5:50, one at 4:50. I expect one maybe at 3:50. And there's no M&Ms in the media hospitality room. So I mean, what are we supposed to do during these timeout breaks?
Pretty barren over there. I agree. But James, when we come back for the evening games, what's for dinner tonight?
I wish I knew that, Tanner. I'm usually on top of my media food selection.
Chick-fil-A? Is it barbecue? Is it
We had some tacos last night.
Oh, beautiful. That sounds new. Roger Brown's, are they catering? Bojangles?
Outback's catered
Outback,
before.
man,
Yeah.
yes,
They do a great job here at Portsmouth of taking care of the scouts, taking care of us in the booth. So really appreciative to all the volunteers that make this event what they make it each year. The staff, the Portsmouth Selection Committee, Cliff Sales does a nice job, and then we can't forget about Prep Spin, always with this elaborate and professional setup to give you guys 4K of viewing experience.
Yes, we give a lot of credit to the visuals. We can't say much for what you guys are listening to, how well that's going, but the style of play and what we're seeing on the floor is still great. And right now, Estrada, this is his third, I believe his third or fourth three in this half.
Back-to-back for him, too. He just hit one about a minute ago. So, again, they find themselves now just down 2 possessions. Let's see if they can get a stop here.
And one guy who's been quiet for Norfolk is Kyle Rode. He hasn't done a whole lot, but his teammates have. Ray J. Dennis, Quincy
Oliveri. Yep.
He just made a good three. So
nice three there.
Other guys are starting to pitch in for these teams.
Nice job by Shahada Wells of keeping his dribble that time. Most players would have picked it up. They get it over to Estrada. Gets away with a little step.
Yeah, and if you're Estrada right there, you'd love to see him go up with his right hand. I thought he had his defender beat to then go lay it up with his right. But as a lefty, he did a little rondo, as you like, one of your favorite moves, James. Little rondo fake, and had a tougher attempt.
You're giving me a lot of credit there. I like being compared to Rondo, Tanner. That doesn't happen every day.
Well, that's about it right there. That's the only comparison I got for you there, JB. Maybe besides he's not bald either. So Isaac Jones, great look right there.
Yeah, he just kind of forced that ball in the rim.
Yeah, he's playing with some force, and that's one thing that he can do, playing hard, getting downhill. And he plays with a high motor. That's one of his best attributes, if he just plays hard.
Here's Will Baker again leading the break. I'd like to see a guard come get the ball from him in that situation.
Maybe he's channeling his inner Domantas Sabonis. I don't know. Lefty?
Yeah.
Lefty, right? Ability to shoot the three.
I like it.
They play tonight, I believe. Playing game?
Yes, the NBA play-in games are going on right now. So both teams now getting a little stagnant, but here we go. Kyle Rode looks to get himself going here in the second half, and another offensive rebound by Norfolk. Ooh. So
it's a little outside.
Funky looking right hook there by Jones. A little outside his range, I think.
Outside of his game, I should say. Well, that deep, But,
yeah, he just wasn't able to get deep enough for that hook.
Yeah.
Both teams now getting a little messy, seeing some ISO ball going on.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Aaron Estrada in this half, trying to create, getting himself going with some shots, putting pressure on the rim. He's really good playing in space. He's probably one of the best with the ball in this tournament because he's so dynamic with it and shifty. But with that being said, there comes responsibility as well. Do you have the ability to make the right play all the time? And played in a great system at Alabama, obviously, but they played super up-tempo. So can he play in that half-court setting? Does he have it in him? I'm sure he does because when you're Conference Player of the Year twice at Hofstra, you're doing some good things.
No, absolutely. I'd really like to see him get into some more high ball screens, be able to make some reads out of that. And Will Baker right now has a huge height and weight advantage with Soriano out, and now we see Soriano come to the table. So they're going to have to bring him in to check Baker.
Yeah, Pember didn't see anybody like that at the Big South Conference. And Pember is a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year at the Big South. So he knows how to defend, but that's a big body he's going up against.
Well, Will Baker did a good job of taking away his shot blocking ability by getting into his chest and taking away that space. And now they're switching everything, so Pember finds himself on the perimeter. And that's Tyson Walker dumps it off, gets himself an assist to Isaac Jones, who's just kind of willing the ball in the basket. It's not pretty sometimes, but it goes in.
Alabama's Aaron Estrada.
They got to find a way to contain Aaron Estrada a little bit. Make somebody else get a bucket. Now, maybe that's something they're not worried about, but, Aaron Estrada's having his way, and I'll tell you what.
Isaac Jones is having his way
Jones
right now.
has had a great third quarter, and I love the setup there by Tyson Walker.
That's back-to-back times now.
Good to see him get in the mix, and Tyson Walker's hit a few lob passes today.
That time, Jones showing the motor on the glass. And looks like Will Baker picked up an offensive foul, just trying to be a little bit too physical in the paint, getting position early, and Pembroke was able to draw the offensive foul. Got 30 seconds left, and again, after Portsmouth was able to cut it to 2 possessions, it's now back to a double-digit lead for Norfolk.
Yes, that is the story of the game right there. Love this matchup, this point guard matchup between the Deuces, Tyson Walker versus Shahada Wells. It's a very intriguing matchup by 2 very talented players.
And right on cue, Tyson Walker, Michigan State, for a big 3, just kind of lulled his man to sleep, was able to shoot the easy one. We're going into the last quarter of play with Norfolk Sports Club up 75-62. We'll be right back after this break. And we're back here starting the 4th quarter of play here at Churchland High School, home of the 70th annual PIT.
Yes, the Truckers. I've never seen. I've been here for years now, but that's one of the more unique high school mascots you will ever find. The Truckers. Pretty cool.
And they've got a great logo that's here on the wall, too, of a semi coming through the wall.
Yeah, shout out class 1994.
Oh, great pump fake that time by Wells, just not able to finish him. How many times have we said that this game, Tanner, from different players in white? Just they've had the move, as I like to say, a $10 move and a 5-cent finish. And we've seen a lot of that, and that's some of it might be legs. I think a lot of that is legs this game.
Yeah, and one term that I've taken in my coaching arsenal is something used by Tom Thibodeau: rim reads. What does your rim read provide you each play? Rim read right here, pretty good kick out, right? Open teammate to the corner. Good job by Eric Dixon.
Oh, I don't know who he was throwing that ball to, but it got taken. And Will Baker now battling inside. Nice feet work that time by the big fella. Just showed good patience and was able to finish with a nice little doopsie-doo layup right over the front of the rim, James Blackburn style.
Wow. Well, Will Baker made that move look a lot better than anything you would probably pull there, James. But with that being said as well, Will Baker, that's the second time I've seen this half of him pivoting at the basket and just showing patience and using his strength and girth inside.
And I'd like to see Soriano post up. You got to give him the ball there. If you're Tyler Burton, he's struggled this game a little bit handling the ball, has had multiple turnovers, and in that situation, there's no reason to dance with it. You've got Soriano on the block. He's shown to be dominant. Just give him the ball and let the big fella go to work.
And a shout out to the defense getting in the mix right there. Quincy Olivari creating that turnover by getting into the ball. And that's something he'll have to do at the next level. Looks like he can guard 1 through 4.
And this is twice now that Norfolk has run this action, Tanner, where they put Will Baker at the high post and then they look for the little bounce pass to the low post. So you see a little high-low there. Really nice action there, and both times they've gotten a quality look.
Certainly translatable to Europe.
Did they count that as an assist now for Tyler Wall?
You know, James, I was literally thinking the same thing, and maybe here at the Portsmouth Invitational they will.
I'm going to have to talk to Cliff about that.
Yeah.
Tyler should get – if I was a player, I'd say, hey, man, I threw it off the backboard. It went right to my teammate Aaron Estrada for the nice little 15-footer, and that was just like they drew it up.
Yeah, no, that was that would be pretty interesting if they did that at Portsmouth. But the integrity of the game here at Portsmouth is at the highest rate. Doubt that happens. Way to fight over a screen right there by Tyson Walker. Really, really cool to see that.
That was in, and KJ Jones able to battle his way to get to the free throw line, something he did a lot in his career at Emmanuel College, getting to the free throw line. And right now you've got the clock is going to be a factor, is 7 minutes and counting, and they've got to get this game back to single digits quick.
You're talking about KJ Jones. Let's go back to him. For his career, he averaged 9.1 free throw attempts a game. And this past season, he averaged 10.6. I mean, that's one thing that this guy knows how to do is draw fouls. He's excellent at that, and it helped him average 26 points a game.
Absolutely. Here he is pressuring up on the ball. Ray J. Dennis uses the high ball screen. Keeps his dribble, Steve Nash style through the paint. Gets it off to Dixon.
That is excellent ball movement right there, James. We call that a blender. We had that drive by Dixon. He kicked it to the corner. Ray J swung it to Olivari. Drive the closeout. That's excellent basketball.
Yeah, you like to see the ball changing ends multiple times, making the defense rotate, making the defense work. And Quincy Olivari out of Xavier, 6'3" guard, 200 pounds, and finds himself a trip to the free throw line.
For a guy who averaged 19 points, 41% from three, 5.5 rebounds, he was only an honorable mention in the Big East this season. Seems like a crime to me, but this guy, he can play.
Absolutely. In the Big East Conference, I think got slighted multiple times, especially with St. John's not making the tournament.
I'll say.
That basket by Wisconsin's Tyler Wall.
Tyler Wall running the floor, gets himself an easy one. Let's see if they can climb their way back into it. Now got it down to 10, but they got to get stops on this end. Here's Olivari. Nice drive. Nice little peel up there by Will Baker, using that big body. And I'm not quite sure, honestly, Tanner, why Tyler Wall was guarding him that possession instead of Soriano. Maybe they got switched off somehow, but
yeah, you know, sometimes those things happen. I mean, it's not the first time that he's had Wall on him either. So in this quarter, so but Will Baker's taking full advantage of it.
Absolutely, and you know, he's going to take advantage using that size, 7 feet, 250 pounds.
Smooth shot from the foul line. He also shot 36% from three on over 2 attempts a game.
Estrada using the ball screen, getting to that left hand. That time Soriano does what he does best, clean up the messes.
Soriano, he's going to have a double-double off offensive rebounds as well.
And how many of those times does he get it himself where he misses his first one and then he gets his own offensive rebound? Does that a lot.
He had that at least one full possession in the first half where he did that.
Here comes Burton. Waits for his teammates, gets it over to Tyler Wall.
Great drive down the hill, right by the shoulder of the defender, straight line. That's a great job.
High off the glass. Got it down to 8 now. Here's Ray J. Dennis, looks for a screen by Will Baker.
Good activity there on the ball by the Division II National Player of the Year.
Checking in for Norfolk Sports Club, number 15, Isaac Jones.
We're going to have a timeout here, the fourth quarter, and we will be right back. We are back here, fourth quarter, 6 minutes to go here in game 1 of the day. As Norfolk Sports Club in red has an 8-point lead over Portsmouth Sports Club. And after the opening 2 points for Portsmouth, they find themselves trailing this entire game. So,
yeah, that was quite the opening play, but since then there hasn't been that much excitement from Portsmouth.
Good contest that time by Soriano.
I just want to see this become a one-possession game and really let's see what some of these guys can do in a crunch time situation in front of these scouts and these agents.
No, absolutely. That's what we want to see. Nice pump fake there by Kyle Rode. Nice little lefty scoop shot.
Kyle Rode, he's had a quiet second half, but hey, if you're going to start to really perform in the latter part of this game, now's a good time to do it. Make your mark now.
Shahada Wells looking. Tyler Wall for 3 from Wisconsin.
Late closeout by Eric Dixon, did not have a hand up. Can't allow a shooter like that a look, especially, this is winning time, last 5 minutes of the game. You have to have that effort.
We've got another timeout here on the floor. And we're going to take a break with them. We'll be right back.
Foul is charged to Portsmouth Sports Club's number 15.
And we are back here. Well, I should say I'm back here as my partner in the booth, Tanner Massey, seems to have broken his microphone, but we won't let our producer know about that. I might be on the call by myself here if Tanner can't get this figured out. So here we go. Norfolk Sports Club, Ray J. Dennis keeps his dribble, gets it over to Kyle Rode from Liberty, has to hoist it up before the shot clock ran down, and that's good defense that time by Portsmouth Sports Club, which they needed. Like to give him the ball to Soriano. He had a post. Here's KJ Jones. Nice little spin move, gets the shot off the glass. Now they find themselves only down 5. This is the closest this game has been, Tanner, since the opening minutes.
This is good. This is what we want to see.
Another turnover. This time Soriano getting involved. And this game is now a one-possession game.
Foul time, James. This is what we want to see, but we want to see how these players handle this type of duress. And Portsmouth, they're getting some stops now.
They are, so let's see if they could possibly tie this game up on this possession. Soriano going to try his luck at the three-point line. You might want to go to the Rivers Casino down the road, tossing up some gambling a little bit on that shot, but he did hit one yesterday.
He did hit one yesterday. It wasn't quite in rhythm, but he has the ability to knock that down.
No, he does. He does. He showed great touch on his shot the last couple of days.
He's more comfortable in the mid-range for sure, but with time, he'll get better from the three.
Kyle Rode with the run out. Oh, excellent feet work that time by Kyle Rode. I mean, being able to stop like that on a dime and throw in the little rondo fake, that's special right there.
Do these refs believe in the travel call, James? I don't know.
Yeah, he got away with the little drag there. And that's Shahada Wells. That's the last couple of threes now for Portsmouth to find themselves missing short. And again, that long distance NBA line together with tired legs, you'll see that.
And that was a very tough shot. You know, the shot before Soriano, he was wide open, but that one was contested and very tough. And now they're back to being down 2 possessions.
They just have not been able to get over that hump.
Right. We got a cross match here. Eric Dixon just has a lot of weight and muscle in this matchup. But, hey, his counterpart stood his ground. And now Wells showing that explosive ability in transition, getting to the rim.
Oh, wow. And they're going to call the foul on that. Tyson Walker can't believe the call. It looked like he let him go. I can't believe they called that either.
I can't believe it either, James. But, hey, we're trying to have a good game here. So
the referees want a good game too, evidently.
Yeah. Let's keep the game close.
And we're going to keep it here, Tanner, during this timeout. So, again, right now we're going to be coming out of this break, and Portsmouth Sport Club is going to have a chance, Shahada Wells, to be able to get this game to only 2 points, which is the closest this team has been in a game in 2 days now. So see what the coaches draw up for Norfolk. Maybe continue to – what would you like to see here on the other side for Norfolk to get a good attempt? They need a basket.
I did like the look they had with Eric Dixon in the post, and he's a good facilitator, but it's the decision-making after that. They've had a lot of success earlier in the game with the stagger action involving Kyle Rode, and they haven't ran that as much this half. Another thing that they've gone away from is Ray J. Dennis being aggressive as a shooter. So I don't know if he can turn it on as a shooter. I don't know if that's his game, but he's also a guy who can facilitate and play make. He averaged almost 7 assists for Baylor this past season, and he gets an assist right there.
That's a huge shot that time by Dixon. Pushes this lead back up to 5 when they were on a little chilly streak.
Yeah, a little pistol action there, James.
Oh, that's your game, Tanner. A little pistol action. We have not seen that much out here.
No, I've seen it a couple of times. Wow,
that's
Ray
a
J.
tough
Dennis,
shot.
that is a tough shot. That is a guy who's trying to win the game and really put his team on his back right there.
Estrada just found himself up in the air. He looked at his first option. He looked at his second option. By the time he got to his third option, his feet had hit the floor. So,
well, I don't mind that. You know, there are cutting alleys that are open, but his teammates weren't cutting. I'm not going to blame his teammates for that turnover, but I appreciate his drive there because at the next level that translates. We're going top shelf. How many lobs is big fella Isaac Jones gonna get today?
well, Isaac Jones really fits the prototypical big, what these teams are looking for. We talked about it earlier. 6'8", he's playing like he's 6'10", and I'm not exactly sure what his real height is, but let's say he is 6'9". We'll call it in the middle. At 6'8", 6'9", with those long arms and being a diver, a rim runner, a pick and roll type finisher, if he can protect the rim, he definitely fits into the prototypical NBA mold. So let's see if he can make that climb and possibly get into the G League this year and see if he can find his way onto a team. He's been one of the better players out here today.
He has, and he plays with a high motor, and he doesn't play outside of himself, which he's had one bad shot.
Yeah. No, he's definitely got a high efficiency rate. That's Soriano on the glass again. That's just excellent touch that time by the big fella. And might be too little too late as that gets it back to 7, but they have to get stops. Another bucket here by Norfolk, and they might finish this one off as Ray J. Dennis at the top is going to use some clock. Tyler Burton defending him. Eric Dixon goes to that left. Portsmouth gets the stop they need. They need baskets now in a hurry.
Good.
Soriano's got to go to work early.
Taking a long time. They're down 7, and it took him way too long to get to his shot.
Especially that shot. You'd like to see him maybe attack there, draw the foul. So that looks like it's going to do it. They're just going to let this one run off. And 17 seconds left. And
well, James, this has been real and fun and real fun in general. So I've enjoyed this time with you, James, calling this game. We get that last bucket, and looks like the Norfolk Sports Club has the better sports club today.
In town. We might have to go visit that tomorrow morning, Tanner.
Yes.
Might have to go
I'm not
some
opposed
iron.
to getting a workout in tomorrow morning.
Absolutely. So we are going to exit here on Prep Spin. Tanner Massey, James Blackburn. You will find us back on the mics in the next couple of days, but make sure you tune back in at 7 p.m. tonight for the nightcap here at Prep Spin, here at Churchill High School in Portsmouth, Virginia. It's been real, guys. Appreciate you listening. Thank you.